Sony's new 1000X, the Collection headphones, have just dropped at $650 a pair. That's $200 more than the XM6, which is still one of the best headphones that we think you can buy right now. So the obvious question is, what exactly did they do with that extra 200 bucks? Is this just a fancy reskin, or is there actually something here that is worth paying for? Now, maybe you just picked up a pair, and if you did, welcome, and stick around because we have a bunch of tips in this video that will actually change how you're gonna use these. Now, we're gonna cover what's new with these, give you a full rundown, and go deep on the settings that a lot of people never even find to set these up. So whether you already have bought the Collection or you're still deciding between this or maybe the XM6, we've got you covered. We carry these at audioadvice.com with free shipping, a price guarantee, and lifetime support from our team, and I'll link them down below. Now, before we get into it, I want to set the expectation here that this is not the XM7. What this is a 10th anniversary product. The X in the Collection name is the Roman numeral for 10. Now, Sony has been open that the XM6, the previous one, did have budget constraints on the design. This model had none. Now, that context explains almost every decision that they made with this 1000X headphone. And the big story here is what you see and feel with them. The XM6 is plastic. It's really good plastic, but it's plastic. When you pick up the Collection, you know immediately you're holding something a little bit different. There's stainless steel sliders, stainless steel around every button and port, and the entire outer surface is wrapped in a really nice oil-resistant vegan leather. The Sony logo on each ear cup is mirror polished against a sandblasted matte background that doesn't show any fingerprints, and it's individually finished by hand, which is something Sony says no machine can actually replicate. And at $650, competing against headphones like the AirPods Max and Bowers & Wilkins PX8 S2s, this is the kind of detail that you would expect for a pair of headphones like this. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the ear cups. They are about 5mm slimmer than the XM6s, and Sony carved out more space on the inside so your ear actually sits inside the cup rather than pressing against the driver. It's a really cool angled design that fits my ears perfectly. Now, the headband is also wider and the padding is about 40% more thicker, and I also noticed that the clamping force is a bit lighter, and in my opinion, these are the most comfortable Sony headphones that I've ever worn. Now, the one trade-off here is weight. The XM6 is 253 grams and the Collection is 320 grams. Now, when you're sitting at a desk and not moving too much, you probably won't notice a huge difference with them, but if you wear them to the gym or go on a run with them, that difference starts to add up, and it's where the XM6, I would say, has a bit of an advantage here. Now, another trade-off with these Collection headphones is that they don't fold like the XM6s do, and that's because they chose the metal hinges over the plastic ones to make them stronger and last a lot longer. Now, although I will say the included case sort of makes up for it with how compact it is, and it has a really nice built-in handle and that same satisfying magnetic clasp as the XM6 case. The driver is completely redesigned, the circuit board has been upgraded, and Sony worked with Grammy Award-winning mastering engineers at Sterling Sound, Coast Mastering, and Battery Studios to actually tune the sound from the ground up through multiple rounds of feedback and revisions. The goal was faithful reproduction of sound. Get a really wide soundstage, really clear separation between instruments and vocals, and get really rich bass that doesn't just crowd the rest of the mix. To me, the Collection sounds a lot more spacious and more detailed than what you get with the XM6. You hear more of what's actually in the recording. Now, I'll say the XM6 does have a punchier, more forward presentation that is really fun to listen to, whereas the Collection, it's just more accurate and a lot more revealing. Whether this matters to you is gonna come down to what you prioritize and what you prefer when you're listening to music. If you like that detailed analytical sound, these are for you. If you just want something really fun to listen to and you're not too worried about having the bass be a little bit boosted, or maybe you're just working out with them, the XM6s may work okay for you. Okay, while we're talking about sound, I wanna go over some tips that are inside Sony's app because these are really important to get these headphones set up correctly. The first tip is you should open the Sony Sound Connect app and go to all device settings and then equalizer. Now, the preset labeled off is not what it sounds like. That is actually the professionally tuned signature sound from the mastering engineer collaboration. A lot of people might just skip right past it, assuming that it means flat or bypassed. But no, that's not it. That's your intended baseline and how Sony tuned these to sound really good. So start with that before you touch anything else. The second tip, still in that EQ section, go to all device settings and find your equalizer. The app will play you a series of short sound samples and then asks you which you prefer, and then builds you a custom EQ profile based on your answers. It only takes about 2 minutes, and once it's done, you have a starting point tuned to your own ears rather than a generic preset or using that Sony off preset. Now the third tip is also important. There's a dedicated listening mode button on the left ear cup that cycles through the 360 upmix modes. Now by default, it steps through all 3 plus standard, which means a lot of presses to get you back where you started. So what I would recommend is go to the Sony Sound Connect app again, and then go to all device settings, controls, listening mode settings, and uncheck any of the modes that you don't use. So for me, I only really use these for music and maybe standard, and then I removed the cinema and the game out of the rotation so there's less buttons to cycle through them. Now another thing that I should mention is when you're using the upmix mode, both the equalizer and the DSEE Ultimate that I'll talk about in a little bit are disabled at the same time. So if you've spent time dialing in your EQ or you want DSEE Ultimate processing on your streams, make sure to leave it on standard mode and don't use any of the other modes. Another cool tip here also, when we're talking about spatial audio, go ahead and go back to the app and go to all device settings, 360 reality audio, and then spatial sound optimization, and run that. What the app does is it's going to measure the angle of your headphone placement on your head and uses that to deliver more precise spatial sound. Now it takes only about a minute and makes a pretty noticeable difference, I found, in how the upmix modes land. Now the Collexion 1000X is also the first Sony headphone with that DSEE Ultimate that I mentioned. The XM6 had DSEE Extreme. The difference is that the Ultimate uses AI to upscale both the frequency range and the bit depth of the audio signal, not just one or the other. And it's not just for old MP3 libraries. It also works on CD quality lossless audio, meaning it's actively processing what you're hearing from maybe Spotify, Qobuz, Apple Music, or Tidal. And every stream benefits from it, not just the compressed stuff, which is really cool. And because it runs on that V3 processor inside the headphones, it works even when you're plugged in with a 3.5mm cable and your phone is off. Now on a plane using that wired connection, the DSEE Ultimate is still active. The XM6 can't do that at all, so it's a really cool feature here. Now on the noise canceling side, the hardware inside the Collection is essentially identical to the XM6. You get the same processor, the same 12 microphone array, but honestly, I found the ANC to be ever so slightly behind the XM6's. I think that the lighter clamping force that makes these so comfortable also means a marginally less airtight fit, and that passive isolation is part of the foundation that this active system really builds on. The Collection is still excellent at ANC, don't get me wrong, but in a direct comparison side by side with the XM6 back and forth, I did think the XM6 was ever so slightly more aggressive at blocking out those low frequency sounds. Another thing worth knowing here that I should mention is that these sound noticeably better with ANC off in quiet environments, so if you don't really need to run that ANC, just go ahead and turn it off. Now transparency mode is another great option to have on these, and I think it's just as good or on par or maybe even slightly better than the XM6. It's right in the same ballpark. I like using the ANC on to cut out distractions, and then if someone walks up to me, I can simply use my right hand and put it over the ear cup and hold it, and then I can talk to them. What it does is the music will stop and the transparency activates while I hold my hand there. Now take your hand away and it just simply returns to whatever mode you're in. Now if you're on a plane or at a counter or anywhere where you need to hear someone talking quickly without taking the headphones off, this is really easy and I love using this. Now there's also another setting inside the ambient sound control in the app called voice pass-through that most people, again, just don't even know about, so I'll talk about it here. Instead of letting all outside sound in, it specifically filters in voices while still suppressing background noise. So if you work in an open office or commute on transit and you want to hear people talking to you without hearing every single thing else, what you can do is go to the app, go to all device settings, ambient sound control, ambient sound, and then turn on voice pass-through. It's a much more useful mode than the full transparency mode in a lot of everyday situations, and another one that I love that Sony includes it on all of their headphones. Now while we're here, I want to bring up one more tip. If you take a lot of calls, you can simply double press the NC/AMB button on the left ear cup to simply mute your mic. Double press again and it unmutes you. So you don't have to grab your phone or fumble through an app to mute you while you're on a call, and this is also really convenient. Now to customize what that button does, you can go into the app, go to all device settings, controls, and then go to NC/AMB button. You're gonna actually reassign that to whatever you want to use or what you use most. Now, While we're on the call part of this headphones, head gesture is off by default, and it's worth turning on in my opinion. You can go into the app, go to all device settings, controls, head gesture, and go ahead and enable it. Now, once it's on, you can simply just nod and accept an incoming call and then shake your head to reject it. It's one of those things, if you got your hands full, it's really convenient. All right, next, let's talk about the battery. You get 24 hours with ANC on and 32 without it on. So yes, the more expensive headphones here has a shorter battery life. Day-to-day use, I think that 24 hours is probably plenty for any reasonable listening session, but if you go days between charging and you really want some more battery, the XM6 has a slight edge there. Now, before we move on, a few app settings are worth tuning while we're in here. Go ahead and go to the app and go to all device settings, battery care, and then turn it on. I leave this on because what it does is it caps the charging at 80% to essentially protect the battery's long-term health. So you get a little less runtime per charge, but the battery stays a lot more healthy for many, many more years. Okay, another tip, while you're in the app, go to the adaptive sound control. When you turn this on, you'll see some pre-built scenes like office, commute home, walking, running, and gym. What you can do is tap into each one and configure what you want the headphones to do in that situation, whether that's full ANC, ambient sound, or something in between. The headphones then detect your activity automatically and then will switch settings to match. Now, moving on, a couple things about the connectivity are worth knowing about. LDAC and multipoint can't run at the same time on these. If you're connected to both a laptop and a phone, the codec drops to AAC. So for full LDAC quality, you should really connect to one device only and then go to the app, go to all device settings, sound quality and connection, and then priority on sound quality. That's what I would recommend. And at this price point, I do really wish Sony had included USB-C audio, so you're not always depending on Bluetooth for the best quality, and USB-C is only used for charging here. But if you do want the very best quality without relying on Bluetooth, you can use that wired 3.5mm cable, but just know these headphones do have to have battery and be powered on. Now that said, when you do go wired with that 3.5mm cable, you do get things like DSEE Ultimate that will still be active since it runs on the V3 processor inside the headphones rather than through your phone, so you're really still getting that AI upscaling even on a wired connection. On the upside here, Bluetooth 6.0 inside these does bring Auracast support, so you can tune into public audio broadcasts in airports, gyms, or anywhere where that infrastructure exists. Android users also get hands-free Google Gemini built in. You can just say, "Hey Google," and it works straight through the headphones, which is pretty cool. All right, I know I covered a lot on these 1000X, the Collection wireless headphones from Sony, and they're the most expensive wireless headphones they've made, and they sound and look the part. But who are they actually for? Well, if you want the most comfortable Sony headphones that they've ever made, and the most revealing sound they've ever put in a wireless headphone like this, and you want something that really feels like it was built without any compromises, this is your answer. We think it's well worth the price. If you want the best value in the lineup, the XM6 is probably still your answer. You get a little more battery, you get slightly better ANC, and it does fold. But if you're ready to step up, the Collection is the real deal. Compared to the competitors on the market, Sony has put up a strong challenger, and it has all the right features built right in. I'm a huge fan of the Collection 1000X headphones from Sony. Yeah, they are over $600, so they're on the pricier side, but when you're competing in that range, these pretty much have everything you could ask for. I love the build quality, I love the metal, I think they look phenomenal on. I love the soft touch of the leather wrapped all the way around the ear cups. Everything about them, they just really nailed with these. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you gonna be picking up a pair of these, or maybe you already have and you have some tips? Let us know down below. I'm excited to hear from you. Now, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. If you wanna pick up a pair of these for yourself, consider supporting us by ordering yours right now at audioadvice.com. I'll leave all those links down below. Now, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.